Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Guess who's back? It's me. Last week I died and ended up racing. It didn't go well. It didn't go well, actually. I finished fifth, I think, and somehow. I don't know how that happened. But we're back here at the Kia series. My name, as per usual, is Mr. Evil Dragon, aka Mr. Liam New. Joining me, it's my 82nd commentator this season. It's the one who... He's doing the opposite. They were going to race, but not now in the box because I've tied them up in the commentary box. There's some kind of weird things going on in this box. But it's Indecisive, who's, well, he's been decisive today because he's joining me.
Yes, it's good to be here. And it was a shame that I didn't finish last week, but it happens. It's racing, and I'm looking forward to seeing some action today, and hopefully it's a fantastic race.
Indeed, we're waiting on, we believe, Thomas Nevitt and Nils to join in due course. But we have a championship which is pretty much, well, it's coming down to very close things. The points still confuse me to this day, but someone more knowledgeable than me can work them out. But what I can say is last week there was a lot of action. It was very good. There was a big crash at the start, which Indecisive didn't survive. I spun because Jacko decided to go side by side of me, and things went well in that race. But here in Japan, a circuit which first hosted a race back in 1987, I'm going to say. 1987, I think. 86 or 87, one of the two of them. It was a long time ago. I wasn't born, but it was back in the day when, well, the circuit looks the same as it does now, just it's a little bit less tight. It's more flow. That's pretty much what this circuit is. It's the same, pretty much. Okay, it's the same circuit. But ignoring that, 27 laps. Famous moments around this track is, well, Senna and Prost twice, I think, more than, well, yeah, just about twice. Schumacher deserting his car, wanted to blow up a few times. I can't remember. Well, 2000, of course, Schumacher won his title. I think that 96 as well. I can't remember any other championships that were completely decided here, apart from, of course, 1989 and 1990. So only 4 off my head, which usually means it's not, has been here. Of course, Suzuka has hosted every single F1 race since 1987, and apart from, well, of course, COVID, which didn't host, and 2 others. That was 2007 and 08, where we raced at the legendary Fuji Speedway, which, Mr. Mackie, it's a lovely circuit, isn't it?
I mean, not for me, but it's fun to drive, I'll be honest, and it's always good to see a good spectacle, and hopefully the people taking part in the Championship 5 next week could have a great warm-up today and get themselves some much-needed confidence going into that.
13 drivers. I was counting to see how many drivers you have. 13 of them. 13 of them. My voice is gone already. This is good omens. 13 drivers. One voice is probably in a second because it might die randomly, and a lovely voice alongside me. By the way, this is not the first time me and Mr. Indecisive commentated together. We commentated last week actually. In a league which we cannot legally say, otherwise we might get sued. But before that, it was about a year ago, so it's good to be back, isn't it?
It's very good to be back in the box. Like I said, I just don't have good racing memories around this track. I don't know what it is, but I just can't seem to finish a race here, so I thought, why not just jump in the box, and at least that way I get to see the checkered flag.
But last time I came here, by the way, and raced it was in cloudy conditions, and it's slightly a bit damp here and there. I died at 130R very... Well, I didn't die. Well, I did technically die. I mean, I spun right behind Noah. He did die. I hit the wall harder, didn't die. Somehow did some Houdini stuff. Flew across the circuit, got a 30-second time penalty, and then I ended up crashing in the pit wall, and then I died. It was an interesting day, that day. I remember Jess had some issues with her wheel, or something broke on her, and I commentated over Jake and annoyed him with the rest of the laps because I wouldn't stop making Murray sounds, which is very entertaining. But 17 minutes ahead of the drivers. The first car out on circuit is... who is it first out on this beautiful circuit? It will be Mr. Danny Quinnoff at 13:15, followed suit at 12:30 by Kyle Anderson. Coming out at 11:45 is Thomas Nevitt, question mark. Next at 11 is Michael Gorris. Cameron Black is live at 10:15. At 9:30, we have Neil Hargrave. At 8:45, Jack Ricketts comes out for his anticipated lap time ahead of the chase champion, Isaac Edmar, at 8 a.m. At Michael O'Sullivan at 7:50, Barry Baldwin following suit at 6:30. 5:45 at Leroy Hauselager, Jess at 5. Yuri at 4:15. Jake qualified to the C5 on point will be at 3:30. And Matt Rosamond will be at 2:45. And that is your not TV order in reverse. Don't worry, I like doing that. It just makes it sound like I'm doing a TV show, but well, it is a TV program, but not as you think.
Well, it's good to have content regardless of what format it's in, so that's always good to know. Just looking forward to seeing some of these fantastic liveries, and it's a shame you can't see mine this week, but never mind.
Yes. Now, what were you going to run this week?
Well, given that it didn't last long last week, I was going to run exactly the same as then, but hopefully the TV time would have been more than 2 seconds when you saw me in the wall. That was my plan, but anyway,
you digress.
I might design something for next week, but that's to be decided later. And it's almost time for someone to nearly come out on track, I think.
Yes, should be in the next few minutes. I think you should go for a nice fiery look for Jeddah. I think that might suit it well. Flames, beautiful Jeddah. It just works. I mean, right. Anyway, before we get demonetized by some magic stuff, who's the first car on circuit and where are they? Because they should be coming out right now. Because I don't know what to say right now. I'm thinking of words to think of, and what I can say is it's cloudy. I spy with my little eyes some clouds, and Danny Quinn, which is I spying in a second, should be coming out in a minute and a bit time because we are just waiting. And, well, this is all about the waiting game, isn't it? So, believedly, a dry race is ahead of us. That is what Mr. Kaya is saying. So, thank you very much, Mr. Kaya, for saying it's a dry race because, well, a dry race is always good, to be fair, around a circuit, which is very, let's just say easy to get it wrong.
Yeah, it's a unique track in that it goes under itself. It's what would be a figure of 8 if it was actually shaped like that, but you can sort of see what it means. Sector 2 goes under the beginning of Sector 3 there, you can see on the minimap. So that's always cool to think about, but it's a unique feature in that, but other than that, I'm struggling to say anything else you haven't already said about this track, so just waiting for Quinn to come out, and let's see who's going to be on pole today. I'm not going to make any predictions, though.
Yes. Just don't predict, because normally when I predict, he goes far below. Now, controversial opinion here. I don't like Suzuka as a racetrack. I think Fuji is a much better circuit for Formula 1 these days. Now, say that about 15, 20 years ago, and, well, I definitely would say Suzuka, because literally about 20 years ago, we had the old Fuji, which had the very first banking corners and very dangerous. But the new Fuji, which I like, by the way, it's my favourite circuit, so not being biased to Fuji, but I think it's a lot better circuit to racing. It's got better overtaking, it's also pretty, it's near a mountain. I mean, who doesn't like the chance of getting evaporated by Mount Fuji at any second? I mean, it's a risk, and risk versus reward. Formula 1's a risk sport. You should go to Fuji.
I mean, they should, but does that need a separate insurance form? Might burn in a mountain.
Yes, I mean, Grosjean probably would know about burning, but luckily he's still here, which is like, that crash, by the way, still gives me goosebumps. I watched it the other day again, and oh my god, it gave me goosebumps. Meanwhile, the first car on circuit is Mr. Danny Quinn, and he told me he's running a livery based on Japan. And, well, I can say one thing, it's very Japanese. Well, I would say that, but I can't actually go to the camera because they've stopped working.
That's
the lag. Oh, no. Okay. Right, well, intermittent break. There we go. It's working. Never mind, there we go. The game, there we go. There is Mr. Danny Quinn, and his livery is based on Japan. How do I know that it's red and white? That's all you need to do. It looks like the Toyota livery, if the Toyota livery wanted to be existent and the graphic designer had a slow day at the office.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, is it really? I'll leave it to Owen White to properly scrutinise it, but it's nice for what it is. But I would have done it slightly different, but hey, never mind. I don't think it's going to make him go any quicker or slower. It's all about how he warms these tyres up for his one and only flying lap here in JACKOCAR, which is always a risk if you don't do it properly, because you could be out of position for the race, as I found out last week. But yeah, never mind. It's going to be an interesting session ahead of us.
Yep, it's come through 1:30 hour and then into the what is the Casio Triangle, because this is where Senna and Alain Prost came together, of course, in 1989. And through exit the Casio Triangle, past a giant big, the big circle of thing in the sky, which is, I forgot what it's called again, that's not gone well, but the big circle, what's it called? Oh no, horrible things have happened. It's come through, right, never mind, come through turn number 1, down into 2, up through the gears, and then this is the S section right now, and it's left and right and right and left, and there's lots of things. There's a right, here's the left, and then another right, and then of course you come into the Dunlop corner. Then this is up the hill, and this of course very tricky corner to get right, very easy to get wrong on the grass and gravel, and well, you're off into the Armco barrier out there. There's a few things waiting for you over there as you come through into Degner 1, break it down into Degner 2, is now cross under the bridge. The only circuit, by the way, I can think of is the Top Gear test track, by the way, which is a direct figure of 8, and of course that circuit no longer exists because it's been demolished, well, to be demolished eventually. Through the exit hairpin and then down towards Spoon Corner. One of these corners where you can also get very easily caught out, can't you?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I still haven't figured out how to take it properly, because it's like a double apex kind of thing, but it's not really. It's sort of in the middle ground there, but he seems to have dealt with it quite nicely for his first flying lap around. First and only, of course, but yeah, he's doing a good job on this lap, and I'm not sure how it's going to relate to the rest of the grid, but all you need to do is get a lap in, and I'm watching the next man up as you can finish this lap.
Yep, through the last corners, then through the Casio Triangle, keep it to the inside, and across the line comes Mr. Danny Quinn, and that's P1. Next up, by the way, is the man who keeps telling me don't curse him. So here is Kaya, and Kaya is, well, the game doesn't want to show me anything here, because look, there we go. Thank you, Gabe. There we go. And there is Kaya in his livery, which looks like looks like a Christmas present's been attacked by a vivid dog. Will I say. It's like camouflage gone wrong, but it's kind of Christmassy as they come through the exit of Degner 2 and down into the hairpin is a purple Sector 1. What's this from Kaya? He's going quick.
Well, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Anyway.
Well, let's see what he can do then. It is Kite down into Spoon. Nicely through here. Doesn't get it a little bit caught on the curb, but it gets it all hooked up on the exit. Runs it out wide. There you go. Second split is Mr. Kyle Langston going to be quick in Sector 2. The answer is a resounding no. Unfortunately, as he comes through 130, that looked pretty smooth there from Kyle. Up towards the line, down into the Casio Triangle on the brakes. He comes third gear into second.
Well, that's ruined it.
And across the line comes Kaya, and that is P2. Now, I'm not going to take credit for that, but that's not gone very well going into second.
That's not gone well, no. But anyway, that's a nice livery from the next one on Mikhail or whatever.
Excite.
How do you pronounce it?
I would just call it Excite.
That will do, yeah. I'm just used to people's names, and sometimes I don't know. I probably should have asked, but anyway, it's a nice livery. It's not the best, but obviously the way it works. So good, decent colour base. But anyway, again, that's how I white territory. I don't want to annoy the commentator, but yeah, that's for Thursday. But this is a decent effort round Spoon as well.
Yeah, a little bit twitchy on the rear end, but gets it all hooked up. Quinn retiring in the pit lane. Remember, you have to only do one hot lap. Of course, one out lap, one hot lap, and one in lap. Then you can retire in the pit lane. Meanwhile, here comes Excite, who is going to show us how the bus stop chicane is taken down there through the gears, nice and hooked up through there on the exit. Third gear, that's like you want to do it. Down into second, get up to the exit, and across the line comes Excite, and will go P2 for him. Next up is Mr. Camo Babbo, then in his purple and green racing machine, then as he comes up through towards 130R, which isn't actually 130-degree radius anymore, so it's not quite 130R, but nonetheless, it's still called it. I think it's 120 something now, but through the chicane he comes, and that looked pretty smooth as well for Camo Babbo. The answer is, where is he going to do? Can he dislodge Mr. Quinnoff Across the line he comes, P2 again, still can't do it. Next up, by the way, is Jacko, because I believe we were missing a driver. So Jacko, the next car up, who he's told me, by the way, stop to curse him. So hopefully this is a very good lap for him.
Yeah, hopefully it is, and we won't say too much about how well or how bad he's doing, and hopefully we will counteract any curses that may come his way. But that's a bit of a mess of a livery, but never mind. Not a fan of it, but anyway.
The game doesn't want me to go to the spectate camera. I'm pressing the spectate button right now, and you can probably see it on the stream. It lags. It really doesn't like doing the spectate cam here. It'll let me do it. No, it won't let me do it. Game, there we go. Now let me do it. We're back to the spectate camera, and yes, it is an abomination of a livery, I will say. Though he is purple, so the abomination, despite me wanting to actually just go on board because it looks better on board, slightly, we'll ride on here because we don't get our eyes gouged out by Jacko's impeccable livery design as he comes through on the exit of the hairpin down towards Spoon. Purple sector 1, by the way, looks very decent for Jacko. Could be going on to pole position as long as he doesn't make a mistake or a hash of things, which he hasn't done so quite yet. He might have ruined the livery, which I will say still glitching out on the halo. I will always say the stick doesn't really work. It's a bit buggy. But sector 2, what's he going to do? Is it a purple? It is a purple. Mr. Jacko going quickly. Wow, this is near nigh unbelievable. Is he going to go for a pole position? Here in Kia Series, Kawababa retires in the pit lane on the exit of the Casio Triangle. Up through the gears, into 5th, into 6th gear. Keep it to the line, and Jacko going for pole. Can't do it. So, never mind. He doesn't get pole position. Next up is Kingan. Never mind.
He would be, but he validated coming out of the second Degner. He just slid a little bit over the exit of the corner, so probably that's unlucky. But nice livery.
It is a nice livery, I will say. It's always been a nice livery for Kingan, running the pure purple, which is a livery, I will say. Another livery, I will say, looks beautiful, is Mr. Roddy O'Sullivan here, and, well, he's going to hit the white bull. Literally, because look, it's white and gold. And I will say white and gold is a colour combination. Well, white orange, I suppose, is more of a goldy orange, right? Orange, gold and black just work in every single way as he comes through into Spoon. And that looked pretty smooth there from the man of Mr. Sullivan, as he's got a helmet that matches as well. I've just noticed he's got the matching helmet.
Always helpful to have a matching helmet to your livery, otherwise it just looks weird. But here we go, approaching the 130R. He's gone purple on the track map. How will that relate as he comes through the Casio Triangle and manipulating the final few corners? Gets nicely on the power on the exit. And he's going to go across the line. Can he steal pole position? Yes, he can for now. Provisional pole for Sully.
Yeah, next up will be Basil Brass. And, well, there's no surprises which livery he's running. There is that. It's the R25. Or the R26, or the R24, or 3, or 2, or what. There's a period of many liveries you could choose from that one, but he is running. The livery has got a Fernando Alonso inspired helmet, and I will say this is the best livery I've seen today. Because if you don't know, that livery I absolutely adore. The old Renault livery, of course, from 2004, 5, 6. As here he comes then through the chicane, and let's see what Fernando Alonso can do. Then on board we come through the last corner and up to the line. The onboard, by the way, looks incredible. Baz up, only good enough for 6th float on the medium tyres, but you know what? Can we give him bonus points for that prettiness?
I'll have a word after, but I would definitely give it some pretty points. But yeah, just one thing we should probably keep an eye on is. Do we have any joggers today?
Yes, we do. I should talk about that Joker in a minute, because I know exactly who it is.
I would hope so by now.
Well, yes, I hope so. I thought you would know, because I told you.
I do.
Yes, well, there we go. So, you know as well, but we'll digress. We'll look at them in a second, and presumably they're not invalidated their lap time. Here we are on board with Leroy Hauselager. He, by the way, isn't on his Joker. He's done that, I don't know when he did that, a while ago, as he comes down into the Casio Triangle, and that looked pretty smooth again there from Leroy. Second gear for him, up to the line, and let's see what it can do. And that is 6th position. Meanwhile, here is our Joker, by the way, Mrs. Jessica. on the medium tyres, which is a very surprising thing normally to see Jess on the medium tyres. Hasn't invalidated, by the way. She got her first penalty, she told me the other week, but I haven't commented on her getting a penalty, so her streak of not getting penalties still stands for me. And she comes through the last corner. She's probably just hoping for around about 7th or 8th. The answer is exactly 7th position, quicker than Bazza as well. That's a very decent lap time, all things considering.
That is, it's a great start position as well, because I think she's going to start maybe 10th or 11th at worst, so that's a great opportunity to do that. And how's that not invalidated?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how that's not invalidated. That right, Yuri's cheating. This is it. You're taking the stewards, lads. Yuri is officially a cheater. He's cheated this one because that was invalidated. Yeah.
Anybody?
He needs to do another 2 stops more. That's the digress there. Through the chicane he comes and well, gets it all hooked up on the X and let's see where he can go. He's the target. He's ahead of his brother. The answer is very much behind his brother.
Oh dear.
I love when that happens. Meanwhile, here is the next car, and it looks like a Brabham, or no, sorry, a Benetton kind of livery from the 1980s.
I was going to say, I'm not a huge fan of Yuri's delivery there. It's confusing me at the back. It's making my eyes go funny, but never mind.
Here is Jake in his Technicolor Dreamcoat as he comes down into the braking zone. The man who is doing extremely well in this championship. I believe he is through to the finals, the final 5, I think, as it's called. But here we are then, on with Jake up through the keys, and now look but never stare, because 130R awaits with a purple sector 2 to boot as well. That's going to be a very good lap time for Mr. Jake then. There he comes, down on the brakes. One more car to be able to set a lap time is no one, because he is the last car. It's Jake, I believe. So up to the line comes, apart from Newgarden, who's behind it, and Jake goes 5th. Newgarden in his gold, blue, and thingy-mabob livery, which I will say because it's gold, it immediately looks cool, is next up.
Yes, next, and of course, last up, because everybody else has done their allocated time on the track, and only 1 invalidation today, which is possibly a new record. I think there's always at least 2, but yeah, and I'm usually one of them before you say it, yes. Yes, I know. But anyway, here comes Newgarden through the Casio triangle, puts on the power as he comes around the final corner, and offers the DRS a little bit of help as he goes 8th to start the race.
Big position there, so purple sector 2, but that doesn't matter, of course, sometimes the game will lie. But he will start then in 8th position. That's probably not where Mr. Pete Newgarden wants to be starting, but it's exactly where the other drivers ahead of him want to be starting. That is Ronnie O'Sullivan on pole by 47 thousandths from Gwyneth the Great in 2nd. Sir JACKOCAR in 3rd position ahead of Mr. Camo Babbo in 4th. Jakey's in 5th, excitingly in 6th. And then behind him is Leroy in 7th. Newgarden in 8th ahead of Mr. Yuri, who's going to be disappointed in 9th. Jessica in 10th ahead of Basil Bruss in 11th. Kaya down in 12th, and the King didn't do a lap time, so he's been, well, dethroned, might we say.
You can say that. I was going to say, what do you mean I didn't set a lap time? I'm in the box. How could I?
Yeah, indecisive. It's such a good lap time. It's not even valid to the world. And well, I'm not allowed to race Suzuka legally because I keep crashing. Well, historically, I always go off at Dunlop, and I don't like going off Dunlop because it makes me all sad when I crash at Dunlop. But if you know, you know. 130R crashes low. That's very much more fun. Going up 130, because especially if you get rebounded in the middle of the circuit, because that corner does that, and it's not, well, it is fun for me, not fun for the 18 other drivers behind me though.
No, I can't imagine it would be, but yeah, it looks like a very, very dry race. It's blue skies with there's a few clouds, and the spinning wheel in the sky is going round, so that's always a good sign.
Is it a carousel? Is it a carousel wheel? No, it's not a carousel. Oh, what's it called? It's the London Eye, but in Suzuka. There we go. We'll just leave it as that. I think it's called a carousel. That might not be the right thing. Is that the other thing? I don't know. Enough. It's close enough. If it's a carousel, the carousel's the one that goes around the circle. It's the one that goes up. I don't know what it's called, and it's going to annoy me on this formation app. So I'm going to Google it.
Of course, other search engines are available.
Yep, could start to ask Jeeves or Bing as well. If who remembers
Yahoo,
Ask
because
Jeeves?
I'm a particular fan of that question.
Let's see. It is and I'm correctly correct, it is a carousel. It's a Ferris wheel. Is the answer to it. There we go, we figured it out. You could probably tell I've never been to a theme park in all my life. Mainly because there isn't anyone any near me, and two, I get motion sick on the slightest movement, so I don't know what would happen if I went on any theme park related ride. I probably might die. But wow. I've been locked in the commentary box, which is maybe a commentary box is in the Ferris wheel. We get an overview of the circuit at different heights. That would be entertaining. But we've got 13 drivers ahead of us, and last position is Mr. King, and first position is Mr. Sullivan, with Jess on her Joker. In terms of what everyone's strategy can do, well, no surprise to see that it is the top 10, apart from Jess and Jake on the medium tyres, behind them Bazza and Kyra on the mediums, Kingan on that soft compound tyre as well. Remember, 2-stop mandatory tyres. 2-stop normally around here is more of an ideal strategy than not, so expect to see that come up for the drivers. But what is Sully going to do up front, you reckon? Is he going to be going guns are blazing, or do you reckon Mr. Quinneth is going to have a good start here?
I really can't answer that, but I'll be looking to see what Jacko does from the start, because he's either going to be very quick or he's going to lose a couple of positions. But having said that, he's behind Jess on the formation lap, so he's obviously had a little bit of an incident somewhere on this formation lap, but hopefully he's clean the next time around. But yeah, it's going to be a fascinating start, and I'm looking forward to seeing it in just a few moments' time as we all slowly make our way to form up on the grid. Indeed,
I've just seen something in the chat, by the way, of some permutations, and oh dear, my good old friend Cam, who's responded to live, may always makes me giggle when he says something. But up front, talking of permutations, if Sully wins this race, he will win this race. If Quinn wins this race, well, he will win this race. And my name is Will Buxton. Jacko is in the... well, he's not where he's meant to be. There, go on. There we go. Getting a grid slot sunshine. Is he going to be cursed maybe today? The answer will be found out in 27 laps if he's in the lead or he's not in the race. But I hope he does well for Jacko for his sake, because every time I commentate on him, something goes wrong. But, talking of action, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Look! But never step, because here in Suzuka, we are underway. There's a good start there from Sully. Quinn as well following him through. But it's Quinn then who edging slightly ahead then. Dancemore's one there is Quinn. Into the lead, contact there as well. As Sully goes a little bit wide. Up the inside comes Carabaro. Jacko there. Looking for position there, in full position there. But it's Quinn leading from Carabaro in second. Sully in third. Jacko in fourth ahead of Excite. Newgarden from Yuri, Jake from Leroy, Bazza from Keegan, Jess, and then Kyra at the back. Everyone getting away look pretty cleanly at the start.
Yeah, so far so good, but there's 27 and a bit laps to go. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep this up, especially if they're running this tight for the rest of the race. And Kyra almost missed his ragging point and ploughed into Jess's rear end there, but I think he got away with that. But you need to definitely be a little bit more cautious on lap 1 and
yellow flags, and that is Yuri who's gone up, as you say about being careful at lap 1. Immediately someone has dropped it there, so that's pretty easy to do sometimes. They're looking up the inside, Kyra on Jess, who holds the line, but up front Camo Quinn, there we go, that's his new name now. And we've got Quinn Ababo in second position, there we go. Sully, track this way, sunshine. Oh, don't make a move like that. I thought for a second he was going to dive him. I flinched for a second. There is in comes Quinn for his first stop. That's a good strategy there to get it out of the way. Go on a set of medium tyres and then gamble on the safety car. And we're going to be seeing a few others in as well. Newgarden in the pit lane. In comes Leroy. In comes Keegan. In comes pretty much everyone from 9th downwards. So there we go. Quinn, Newgarden, Leroy, Kingan and Yuri all in the pit lane on the first lap then. here at Suzuka, but Camo Babo leads this race now from Sully. Jacko in third position, keeping on the tails then. Maybe down in fourth, but isn't out the fight just yet. And let's see what he can do. Can he go and challenge back up to Sully? Excite in fourth. Real gainers out this race, by the way. That is Bazza up 5 positions, up 4 for Kaya. Of course, these are slightly skewed because others have already stopped for their first mandatory of 2 stops this afternoon. Next up, we will believe around about lap 15. But Camo Babylon, this is exactly what he needs to do at the start of this race, and that is leading.
Yeah, he's doing everything you need to do, but he's certainly can't afford to get too complacent because he's going to have a lot of people all over his gearbox very shortly.
Newgarden, safety car.
He's out of this race, and that is going to ruin all the plans of everyone that hadn't stopped on that one, but very good for those that did counteract the safety car.
That's a very odd off, I will say. I mean, he's dropped it very, very early. So what I imagine he's done, he's gotten the inside of Degner 1, and it's just not stopped turning. He's ploughed into the wall, and he's out of this race, which is unfortunate, but unfortunately is what happens when you hit a wall. Historically, you retire. And there is your first retirement. Are we going to see anyone in for a non-mandatory? No, we shall not. Are we going to see anyone like Quinn, Leroy, King, or Yuri come in to do a non-mandatory stop? We will not either. So everyone then, looks like we're going to have no mandatory stops for the first time in a little while. The first safety car around, which is nice to see.
Yeah, it's good to see, and I wouldn't be surprised if King or Yuri goes in because they're already on the better tyre for this phase of the race, and indeed they stay out, so there you go. No non-mandatories to report at this stage, but I have made a note anyway.
Very good, but Kamababa leads then from Sully, Jacko, Excite, Jake there on those medium tyres in 5th, Jess in 7th position. She's been having a very good run of form of late. Doesn't pick up penalties, he says, very much. She's misses consistency. So, only DNF from one race this season. That was Silverstone's shenanigans, which involved Jacko and a few others going sideways. And then Jess and, well, you end up becoming a snowplow and unfortunately didn't finish that race that day. Very big accident, I will say. And my reaction accompanies it by me screaming very loudly because, oh my god, it made me jump. But up front, Kamababo and Sully.
Yes, it wasn't the best way to start a season, was it? And no. I ended the season the same way, crashing. So people are going to start to get the wrong idea. I don't know how to drive, I'm telling you. It's just I've been a bit unlucky across every league I've been in this season. But that was annoying because I was well placed to do a joker, but it all went wrong, and there's nothing you can do about it. But you know, it happens. But it always seems to happen to me this season. But anyhow, this is still a safety car condition, and we're not going to get a lot of notice when it comes in next time around, I imagine, due to how short the sector 3 is. So there's not going to be a lot of time to distance yourself from the safety car on the way into the pits, and Kaya's in. I'm going to see if that's a non-mandatory.
It would be, because he's in the pit lane, so this is a non-mandatory stop nonetheless. So let's see, has he damaged his wing? Or is this an odd stop, Kaya? This is odd. Why are you stopping?
That's an error, but that's a non-mandatory. Can report that.
For a set of medium tyres, so he's doing it, but he's going to have to stop again, so that's just thrown his positioning right to the back of the grid. I mean, I guess, sure, but I don't know why he's done that. He's stopped. It's a non-mandatory stop. That will go against him. 2 more stops for Kaya to come. But, yeah, it's odd. That's very odd. I mean, we've only got 4 drivers now on a set of soft tyres. The rest of them all on medium tyres, and we have got, of all of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them have only got to do 1 stop left. Kai has to do 2. Remember, Jess is on her Jokers, who only has to do 1 stop this afternoon.
Yep, that's definitely tipping up to be a classic race here, as Camo's just anticipating whether the safety car is going to be in this lap. I think it will, so he's doing all the things he possibly can. but you never really know what with the safety car. The safety car does what the safety car does, but of course, always remember safety cars breed safety cars.
Yes, the safety car makes baby safety cars every time, and we do love baby safety cars. But the safety car should be in a few moments' time. It will be around about 5 to 10 seconds, and it will say in a few seconds when it's coming in as well. It will be in this lap time, and it will say right about now. Now, there we go. Thanks, game. As you can see, Cameron Bauer is slowing him up because he knew it was coming in now. Of course, remember, it's normally 2 to 3 laps under safety car. The rest of the field is all together. So we'll go to the man up front, and that is Mr. Cameron Bauer. Then you can look down the rest of the field and see if anyone's being naughty and jumpy. But let's make sure Cameron gets this absolutely on perfection. The line comes up very quickly, so you can pretty much go right about now then, and away he will go. And that looks like a very decent start from everyone. Doesn't look like anyone's really got a good jump then on anyone, so that is good to see. Excited, having a little look up the inside of Jacko potentially, but can't quite do it as everyone got through turn number 1 this time around. It looks like we might just have a few positions changing as Yuri gets up position. Keegan trying to go past Leroy as we come up through the end section for the 5th time as they get also closer on board with Yuri. He tries to go around the outside of Keegan, who tries to go inside of Mr. Leroy as no one's barging an inch there up front. You can see the top 4 continuing to run away. Bazza there in 5th ahead of Jake as well, and now you've got that Quinn and then those 3 drivers in a little line behind them. We have Jess and then Kai, who's still got to do 2 stops in this race as they come through the hairpin. Oh, nice and smooth through there. Bit of a twitchy then from Kingham, but brutally though, everyone's got away this time around correctly so far. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and of course Dirty Air is really, really tricky, especially through the first sector here, so I think people might be taking slightly different lines just to try and counteract that, and of course in doing so, they could easily dip a wheel onto the grass or the dirty bits and end up facing the wrong way or in a wall or whatever, so it's a good restart off from Camo. He's opened up a second over Sully, and he looks to be in control, but I think he's going to box at the next available opportunity because the softs won't go much longer, and there indeed he goes.
There indeed he comes in, then to Cameron Barrow, and also comes Excite. Also coming in is Kingan. So he's bailed out of his strategy. Looking at stops, by the way, that will be his 2nd stop this afternoon there for Kingan. So I don't know if he's got some damage we haven't seen. But he is in for his stop as well as Excite. So Kingan will be on his 2nd stop, so he doesn't have to stop again as round goes Quinn. He's dropped it in the middle of the corner. He got too much on the curb. Rear end said, no, thank you, sunshine, I ain't doing this. Round he went, and Quinn, who we're riding on board with, has spun around then a very easy corner too, and that will be worn tyres. He'll be straight in the pit lane, presumably, because remember, these are going to be treacherous times.
Sorry, Kingan's having a bit of a drift as he comes out the pits, and I can confirm he did have a new front wing fitted, so that's why he was in, but in doing so he's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so it's not gone well for him, but there's still time for him to turn it around, and thankfully the top has not decided today, but Jacko's looking very, very menacing now on the gearbox of Sully.
Yeah, Jacko's looking menacing, which is always an ominous sign for anyone when Jacko's looking menacing. It'll either mean one or two things. Either it'll end well for Jacko, and he won't crash, or it will end very badly for Jacko, and he will crash. Now, my fingers are on the buzzer of he's going to come in the pits pretty soon, which isn't now, but he stays up fast lap of this race. He's going for the overcut strategy then, isn't he?
Yeah, it seems to be, as Solly's in, a DRS is finally enabled after 2 flying laps after the safety car conditions. It would ordinarily be activated at the start of lap 3, but with the safety car, it's now a lap 7. But yeah, Sully and Kaya in. That's one of the Kaya's mandatory stops out of the way.
Yep, it's one of Kaya's mandatory stops. Cameron Barry's done his first mandatory stop as well this afternoon, meaning we have got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we've got 1, 2, 4, 8 of them that have stopped so far. For their mandatory stops, and one has done their 2 mandatory stops so far. That is Kingan who will not go to the end of this race, remember, because he's on the set of soft tyres, and they will not go 20 laps, is the answer to all your questions right now. Look at the train, by the way, here behind Jack. We've got Bazza holding up a little bit of Jake, then we've got Leroy and Yuri, and the Hasselhagen brothers, which have come awfully close to contact so far this season, as yellow flags, and that is unfortunately Keegan, who's having a torrid time.
Yeah, he's not doing very well, but
damage
I
again.
think he's got a little bit more damage as well, so he's gonna just be screaming into that helmet of his right now. But yeah, just unfortunate it happens, and this is what is really bad about this track. If you're having a bad race, the track is gonna know about it.
I mean, well, looking back then on board with Leroy, look at Yuri. Right behind, has he got the DRS? Yes, he has Yuri. Gonna get the opportunity. Oh, they almost touched down the straight there. They almost touched. There's a little bit of a weed for a second as Yuri just had to dive out there as Leroy covered it. I think Yuri might have just got a little bit flounce about that one, because that could have ended badly, as these two, no love lost in the Hasselhagen family, will say these days, and these two. I tell you what, one day or another, these two are going to end up in a wall together, and it will not be a pretty argument. Up front, meanwhile, Jake behind Mr. Basil Brush.
No, it certainly won't. I'd love to be a fly on that wall if that ever happens, but yeah, it's always good to have someone doing some good racing, and there's a little bit of a battle going on as they've all caught up to the back of Bazza, Jake, and Yuri and Lurie. A little bit behind that battle as well, and I'm trying to talk as fast as the action. I think I need subtitles to keep up.
Yeah, subtitles always optional. Here is a little bit on the curve there from Jake, but he gets it hooked up together as well. Remember, in terms of the gaps, by the way, it's been DRS now for Yuri, so he's going to be happy with that one, because that means his brother, God forbid, can't try and re-overtake him very quickly, but he is close, only within 0.3 of a second, but remember, DRS trade makes overtaking pretty much impossible normally. So if you're the leading car in a DRS trade, you might be in a spot of bother. So, here's Bazza, who might be in a spot of bother right now. I will say a 5. Oh, yellow flags. And who's that's gone off? I don't know who's gone off.
That's Kingan again.
It's Kingan gone off at turn number 1. As you see Bazza. Oh, that's close there between those two as they come up through the gears. As I thought for a second it was Jacko off, but it wasn't. It was only Keegan going out of the way as Jake tries to make a move up the inside, but can't quite do it right there into turn number 1. Following behind, we've got Yuri and Leroy sitting comfortably together, but I feel like Jake's got a bit of pace right now in his car, and he might have finished 4th last week. Let's see what he can do this afternoon.
Yes, we certainly will, and there's a yellow flag there, just Kingan getting out of the way of the leaders. He's a good racer, is Kingan. He's having a miserable day, but he's still going about his business the same way he would if he was leading, and that is close action into the hairpin, and Jake has got a little bit on the grass, and he's lucky that didn't involve an accident.
Absolutely butchered that one there, Jake, hasn't he? He was trying to make a move, I think, on Bazza. Bazza's gone wide as well. Yuri, these two always confuse me, have capitalised on it, and now, all of a sudden, Yuri, with the help of ERS, could be challenging, but not quite yet. He'll sit back, because remember, 130R is not. That's 9 laps of the race. Sure, all things are opportunities. He's going to try on the outside into the chicane. Can't quite do it. What he'll do is set him up on the exit. Jacko's coming to the pit lane for his first stop this afternoon. And here is Yuri, who is, of course, the net race leader, is now leading the race.
Yep. It's always good to be in that position, P1 in the race.
Oh, no! Oh, he's caught it! How has he done that? How has he done that? Yuri, take a bow, sunshine, and
how's he kept the lead?
That is the moment of the season, right there. Save of the season as well. How on earth has he done that? That is outrageous.
I mean, yeah. It looked for all the world as though he was going to be facing the wrong way, and I thought, uh-oh, here comes a curse. But no, he's managed to power through it, had a bit of a slide and caught it and kept the lead, and that is that's a great moment to see, and I'm sure that'll be on the end of season highlight reel.
That very much will be. I was running upon a buzzer as that happened. That was incredible. What's not incredible, by the way, is Keegan, who's got floor damage,
No.
I believe. That is the unfortunate. I will unfortunately not too surprised to see him retire in the pit lane.
Yes, it wouldn't be surprising, but he's also on the hard tyres, which is a really, really horrible tyre to be on, especially around here. Because you're just on ice for a while, but yeah, anyway, it's a great battle, this, isn't it?
Bazzer in. So he's dived into the pit lane, meaning it is the Hasselager 1-2. And I tell you what, Leroy's probably starstruck right now. He's star-stunned. Meanwhile, Jess in a technical net P3, by the way, this afternoon. Quinn chasing them down in 4th. And Cameron Babo as well. Everyone still yet to do their last stop this afternoon. Jacko in 6th position as out comes Bazza. And where's he going to come out in all this? He's going to come out pretty much right behind Jake. Then to Jake ahead of Bazza. But up front, it's Yuri leading this race.
It certainly is, and I'm just checking everyone that's in and around other people, if they're catching or just maintaining the gap to or behind them. It's
Sully and Excite is what's going on right now, isn't it? Has Excite made a bit of a mistake there?
Yeah, it seems to go a little bit deep, and that's given Sully all the opportunity he needs, but I'm not sure he's going to get past through the Degners. But that's a little bit wide on exit as well, and there you go. He wasn't through the Degners, but he's through into the
of the Degners.
The exit and the hairpin where Hackden's car once stood when it ran out of working ability.
Was it? Or was that? I thought that was just Spain. Then that happened.
I thought it was here, but
no, it was Spain. Schumacher. No, but the only place the only big incident I can remember around here is Danny Kvyat having a big off down there back many years ago in 2015, and of course I vividly remember as well Kobayashi, I think it was, doing the old Kobayashi dive. It didn't work that day, ended up in the gravel out the race. That was in 2011, I believe it was. Of course, 2012, he got that famous podium in Japan. The last Japanese driver. Oh, Kamababo catches it as well. Wow! These drivers are doing Gymkhana at turn number 1. And, well, I mean, we are in Japan. Drifting is very popular in Japan. The tyres, though, they're not going to be happy with this.
No, I mean, if we stop speaking for a while, you can just about hear them going, "What are you doing, you mentalist? Please stop that. This is not what I've designed for."
Yeah, they're definitely not. Meanwhile, Jess getting under pressure lane from Quinn, and we'll see what Jess has done. Jess has always been said she needs to be a bit more aggressive. She needs to get her elbows out a little bit more, but she's a gentle woman driver, might I say. And a lovely person as well. Talking of lovely people, it's Keegan who is not being very lovely to his front wing right now. That might be a safety car potentially, or not. No, I think we're going to get away with it. But Keegan really struggling. I think his gamble is just trying to finish this race, but in the gravel isn't what you want to be doing. As he's just trying to get himself out of the way, and he's going to get a penalty from the game if he's not careful, because the game likes doing that when you're down and out. In comes Leroy for his second stop, and that will be for a set of medium tyres. And Jess, meanwhile, really under pressure right now, as here comes Mr. Quinn, and Jess not going to fight it at all, though Quinn just saying hello as he passes down into turn number 1, goes wide, keeps it on the island just about, and I tell you what, no one wants to be able to do turn 1 today. They're all very slowly, but Yuri, I still don't know how he caught it.
No, I'm going to have to ask him later, like, maybe give you tips on how to stop near accidents from happening. You know, it's always something, you learn something all the time. Yeah.
Leroy, meanwhile, he's done his second stop, and look where he is in comparison to everyone else, by the way. He's right behind the likes of Bazza. Yellow flags, and that is O'Sullivan who's dropped it. Unfortunately for him, as he got damaged. No, he hasn't. So what he's done is gotten the curb as Jessler getting passed by Camo Baba, and she says, "Off you go, sunshine, and see you in a bit, because I've only got to do one stop left, but so have they." So these are for position, Jess. These are for position. So go get them. Go fight for them.
I mean, you say that, but she's on mediums and everyone around is on the soft, so it's probably just wise just to see if she can take their tow and go with them rather than fighting them. Save a bit of tyre that way, a bit of tyre wear, and just extend this even further, which she may well need, given the looks like quite a hot race today. So I think she's doing the right thing, just not overly fighting them, but she's not being like diving out the way either. So it's probably the right thing to do. And we'll see at the end how much precedent there has. And King is in for his 5th stop, by the way. That's a really bad day. But he's still out there, so that's always good to see. But there's a pass on Jake from Bazza into turn 1 there. And finally, I get to see someone do it correctly.
Yeah, first time we've seen someone do that corner correctly. And tell you what, Jake almost just dropped it as well, which would have been an unironic moment for poor old Jakey boy there, but he keeps it on the lovely island as well. As we look to see all your tyres. Jake, don't try it. He's got the high ground and he will sit behind for the time being. A little bit twitchy low for Bazza as he come through the exit of the corners. And let's see, what are you going to do? Are you going to make a move down here, or are you going to wait and sit back? I tell you what, he's not making the moves. Well, I'll tell you who might be making the moves. He's actually going to be... No. Bazza's got a good exit somehow from going that deep as he carries on his merry way. Blue flags that is Kingan getting out of the way. He's having a torrid time, unfortunately, right now. Bazza just about holding on to that.
Oh
no. Excite is off the road. Oh, hello. What's happened here then?
Can't drive there, sir.
And Kaya's off the road. What's going on here as well? You can't park there, sir, either. Everyone's gone off the road in a second. Everything's happened. What's happened?
I don't know. I think he just had a moment. I think he's probably just gone too deep and tried to hold it and couldn't come back on track because he saw 2 people try to go past him, and that's Excite anyway. I don't know what happened to Kaya. I didn't see it at all. I was watching all the battles, and that's Leroy going through.
Is he just someone to fight? Maybe potentially he's thinking of a different afternoon then for the man. Leroy up into 8th. From ahead of him, of course, we've got a few people. Only 2-3 drivers have got penalties, and that is Bazza and Sully on 3, King on 6 second.
Yeah, and of course, Kicken got the penalty for speeding in the pits, which is adding insult to injury. But there's a yellow flag again.
And it's Kingan again.
Oh, no.
I mean, if he doesn't retire in this race, I might give him a cookie, because this is perseverance.
Yeah, I mean, are we absolutely certain it's not me out there driving? Because this is kind of, no disrespect to myself, but this is kind of how my races around this track usually go. Bless him. He's on new tyres every time I see him.
Yeah,
is he going to run out?
I think he's got floor damage, you know. That's always a possibility here. I mean, his tyres are very much new, so that's not going to be too much of an issue. They're just a bit cooked. I tell you what, Jeslen just about, and look who's behind him. It's Jacko. Jess and Jacko then, and we'll see what these two can do. These two have always seemed to have good little battles. As in comes Camo Baba for a set of medium tyres. Here comes Jacko to take Jess, and let's see, inside line gives a big berth. And through he comes. Kaya, next off the road as well. He's dropped it and is now a lap down. Unfortunately, must be getting going again, Kaya, because otherwise you might get yourself a bit of a penalty as well. And Kaya, who said he hopes to finish this race, still in this race, but he's going very slowly on the grass, and I hope this doesn't trigger a safety car.
Yeah, that's always the hope, especially when you get into Jess's pit window. She's absolutely not going to need a safety car anytime now. But yeah, she's doing a great job with those tyres right now, and she can probably stretch them another couple of laps and then pit easily to go to the end. Because what?
I think this guy just been disqualified.
I don't see anything on my screen, no.
Or is he just going again? It looked very much like AI manoeuvres then, but
yeah, no, I didn't see anything on my screen. No message saying disqualification or anything. But yeah, I was going to say, as you saw, Jacko went really deep on the soft tyres at the start, so Jess will have made note of that, and she could pit in a couple of laps' time and save the softs to the end. But hopefully she doesn't get a safety car come out now and ruin that plan.
Yeah, well, Jess can stop any time really from now to go to the end of this afternoon's race. The tyres should around about last 10 laps, but ideally you want to be stretching a couple more laps to around about lap 18, 19, 20, but we are in the dangerous safety car window. I tell you who is going for a set of soft tyres. That is Mr. Danny Quinn on for a set of soft tyres. See what he can do, if he can try anything to catch up to Yuri, who is leading this race by a comfortable margin right now of around about 11 to 9 seconds, really. I mean, we can't do the fact that Quinn has just stopped for his last stop, and we should be seeing a few now starting to come in as well for the last scheduled stop. But the issue here is, which some of these drivers are going to come up to find, is the likes of Camo Babo, which has done his last stop actually as well, but it's the likes of Sully, Excite, all kind of in these little windows where they haven't stopped yet. They will stop soon. They could all play a bit of a factor here, can't they?
Yeah, they absolutely could. So you just got to keep on doing what you're doing, and hopefully you don't get stuck behind another car on a different strategy to you, which can then turn your race into one that could have been a lot better, or he could go worse, depending on who you get stuck behind or around. And there's a little bit of a bottleneck happening here. There's Jake and Bazza, followed by Leroy, with Excite not too far behind them either. So Leroy's completed all his stops, as you say, so he's sitting, his brother is in the pit as you speak of Leroy.
Indeed he is then. I'm presumably seeing Jess dive into the pit right now. If I was Jess, I would be doing that at least. And yes, she does dive into the pit lane as well, normally partying with Jake, so and normally Union Decisive, I think, as well.
Yeah. Oh Jake. Oh Jake.
Oh dear.
What are you doing?
Talking of Jake, that's unfortunately not what you want to be doing as he comes into the pit lane, as out he will come. Jess will rejoin down in 9th position, but this looks like for a potential top 5 or 6 still on the cards for her Joker. But up front, we've still got a lot of action to come. Jacko leads this race yet again. He's going for a set of softs right at the end. But I tell you what, Jacko's been he's been quiet, but he's not made any catastrophic mistakes, which is very good for Jacko.
All eyes on Jacko apparently after that comment, but no, he's having a very solid race, and let's hope we can. I'm sure he'll keep it up for the next 20 minutes or so, however long we've got. But there's a side-by-side move. Yuri on Bazza can't quite get the move through, and Bazza again has got a great exit when he went a little bit wide through the hairpin. So that's something to keep an eye on, and maybe that's the better line.
Yeah, Quinn as well battling. That's going to be close. That is awfully close. Look at this. They're squeezing each other a little bit outside that inside line, and he can't quite do it there. Sully, you're going to have to sit it back, and Quinn has that one covered, and he's going to the end of this race. And off he pops then up the road. Up front we have side by side through 130R. And that this time is Yuri getting the job done. He's done his second stop. But it is actually Leroy who leads this race.
Yeah, that's something that I didn't know what to expect at the start of the race. But Bazza is going through on... there we go. That didn't last long, did it?
Ah!
Whoa!
He catches as well! These drivers are going to give me some kind of weird noises. How on earth did these drivers? That wasn't his goal. I'll give that an 8 out of 10, that one, though. Oh, Yuri! There's words in there somewhere. I don't know. I can't speak today, can I?
You're saying all the right words, just not necessarily in the right order.
No.
Anyhow, Jacko is... just building his gap nicely. He's got 9 seconds and growing to Leroy behind, especially after a couple of slides there. But I can guarantee you, if I was in one of those slides, I would have been in the barriers, out of the race, and offline quicker than you can say, oh, Mackie's crashed again.
Oof.
But it's just a great performance for Jacko at the moment, and all these drivers deserve a lot of credit, especially for all the saves I'm seeing. This is outrageous stuff, but Bazza is... probably going to pit shortly because he's only on the 1 stop, which is astonishing, really, when you think about the high tyre wear here. He's done an amazing job.
Yep,
if I were Badger, I'd pit now. But Jacko's in.
gets it stopped. Yep. Nicely done. In he comes. First man in the stop as
well.
First garage is rigged. He's manipulated that to get the first garage, hasn't he? Presumably going to be seeing Basil Brush in the pit then as well. He's gone into his bush. In he comes, nicely stopped. And that promotes a few more up. Quinn, their fastest lap of this race. Jess is now going to be in 6th position, I believe. Won't be ahead of Jacko, but will be ahead of a car as Kaya getting out the way there on the exit of 130R, he looks like right there, as up front 1.5 seconds now between the Hasselager brothers, and Yuri's going to have to fight this one, isn't he?
Yeah, it certainly is, and that's the way we like it here at JACKOCAR.
Brotherly love potentially going to be up in smoke. Well, they got close once earlier on. Let's see what they can do right now as we ride on board then with the man in 2nd position. First, you have to finish, Michael Schumacher. And for Leroy, his quote is nothing. He hasn't got a quote. Kappa, by the way, is engineered insanity, which sums up Yuri's catch earlier on. As well, 1.3 now, it's slowly coming down inch by inch in terms of their tyre degradation and gaps, by the way. Where is it? Where's the tyres? There they are. It's 1 lap per 6 laps, so going to be catching him at a little bit of rate and knots, but remember, he's got to make these tyres last around a circuit, which it's a little bit easy for the tyres to go off, but I think he's got it covered.
Yeah, it looks pretty like he's got it covered at the moment, but you never know. If you have to start battling someone for 3-4 laps at a time, that's when the tyre wear really starts to kick in, and who knows what happens in that situation. It's great racing though. Brilliant stuff.
Yes, most certainly is. As through turn 1 and 2 they come at now 0.8 of a second. It's coming down. Leroy making a bit of mistake through there. Yellow flags for Sully. Potentially that actually might be Kingan. My apologies there. He's gone off at the exit of the Casio Triangle. Now, otherwise currently up the front, and that then is of Yuri, who's now got that gap to just under 0.8 of a second nearly. These two battling heavily on that 21 of 27 with what is 6 and a bit laps to go. Gap is closing now, just under 0.7 of a second. Now it's going back up a little bit on the exit, but now look at it, under 0.7, under 0.6. Remember, really, you want to be within around about half a second to get the real benefit of the DRS. What you don't want to be doing is going too wide there, because it can pick up a penalty.
Yeah, always easy to do though if you're battling someone, especially if it is your sibling. You want to try a little bit harder, and sometimes you try a little bit too hard and go too deep and get some time penalties. Talking of which, I've done it again.
Yeah, talking of penalties, there is one, and there is Jake, who says thank you very much. I shall take your spotlight right now. Yuri and Leroy covering to the inside line. I think Leroy might just have this covered for the time being. He's close, but needs to be another couple of attempts closer, but that's going to help him a little bit. Jacko, fastest lap of this race, as he chases down at Danny Quinn. 2.3 seconds, the gap between those two right now. Further down the field, by the way, we've got Jake and Jess battling together. And let's see, Jake, I would not be surprised here to see him sit behind Jess. I remember Jess, of course, going for the final round, still technically, mathematically, in the hunt. I don't know what after this she would be, but a top 5 still could be a very decent result for her. A top 6, might we say. Yellow flags, and that is Sullivan, who's gone off at the exit of turn number 2. Up front, Yuri still just holding back in that gap now under 4/10.
Yeah, you can always see the gap just fluctuating a little bit between the two, but it's always a hard-fought battle between these two, and we've seen it lap after lap now. We've seen it briefly this season, but it hasn't really lasted long enough because they've been on different strategies or whatever, been an incident, but today it's been pretty clean, I think, from everybody. I haven't really seen anything that's going to bother the stewards today so far. You've probably seen a little bit more than me.
He's having a look. No, he's not. I thought this was the opportunity he was looking for. He almost timed it. Now he's got his brother offline. He's going to have to cover him. Let's see which way you're going to go, Yuri. Let's see which way you're going to go to the inside line. And he takes the lead then from his brother. He's absolutely hooked that one up like an absolute treat.
Yeah, look at the grip he's got on the soft tyres, and Leroy's now struggling on the mediums in those. Yeah, he's not used to this. He's been there, but backing around again. Yes, it is. Bless him.
Just want to give him a hug right now. That's how I feel, friend.
Yeah,
but you're in, Leroy.
You want to call him in like they do in Endurance, say, right, your stint's over, let someone else have a go and have a nap. But unfortunately, can't do this if all the
Oh, and off goes Jacko! No! No! What have I done? I meant to Jacko having a good race and now he's off. Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
He's off and he can't get back on.
Well, yeah, we can't get back on. There's no yellow flag. Oh, yellow flag. There we go. Back on the circuit. Oh dear.
He's broken hearts everywhere.
I've never been so disappointed in him.
Car parts. I don't know what to say. I was about to say he's flying and could well sneak a podium at the end of this race, but now that's in the bin.
Yeah,
much like that old wing.
Yeah, it's not gone well for Jacko. He's crawling home. He's gonna be sitting in the corner, and he's gonna be disappointed. Poor Jacko. What can you say about Jacko, which I haven't? Well, see, this is why I normally. I mean, I didn't. Well, this is me saying it very earlier that I said he was going to get a good race, and now he's not going to have a good race. But I should stop saying Jacko's going to have a good race, because every time I do, it doesn't end well for him.
No, it really doesn't. But
one day. I'm surprised that Jake hasn't gone out of the way of Jess or dropped behind Jess right now, because Jess, a fifth position for Jess really would help. But Jake, he's got a bit more pace right now. He can go a little bit further. But I'm surprised that Jess hasn't been let past, and Jake trying to act as a double buffer, but Jake going for the championship, to be fair as well, isn't he?
He is, but I think it's more to do with the fact that Jake has 8 seconds, so he's probably going to try and take Jess with him. Or that's what Jess's plan is anyway, to try and stick with him, get a little bit more tow, and be able to defend from behind as, well, I was going to say as Excite is approaching, but a little bit too quickly as it turns out.
Oh, safety car! Yeah, Excite is at this race.
That's late.
And that
is good news for Jacko, who was already in the pit lane as it came out, so, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to help Jacko. He's going to come back into this race at 24, so we're going to get a one-lap safety car then, are we? We are.
Maybe, yeah.
Are we going to see anyone dive into the pit lane for a set of soft tyres? We could see a flurry on non-mandatory. Remember, you get a bonus point if you do only your mandatory stops with no added mandatories on top. But Leroy stays at Yuri. Look, he's gone in. He's going for the gamble. Are we going to see Camababio and Quinnin? No, we are not. So they're going to go to the end of this race. This is a potential blunder, but it's going to be a cool strategy then. Are we going to see Jake in? Yes, we are. Jess considered it, but stays out.
Yeah, she probably would have done that any other week, but when you got a joke, it's like, nope, I'm good, thank you. You do what you want, you do you, and I'll stay out on these tyres and do the Joker, and she could well end up on the podium as well. She's not out of it yet, especially with the restart coming up. She could well be up there, but it's looking like a... Well, I was going to say, it was looking like a two-car battle for the win, and then Yuri thought, nope, I'm going to ruin everything and go into pits. So it's interesting to know. He's still on good tyres in P4. He's come out in P4, so that's not too bad. But
he'll have 2 laps to make it. The pass is low, won't he? He's going to have to get these jobs done. Safety car will be in at the end of this lap.
Yeah.
No matter where everyone else is, remember, you get 2 racing laps after this one. You don't get 1, you get 2. So it will be in at the end of this one. So everyone who's stopped, that's not going to help them, because they're going to be right down and out. Someone like Jacko isn't going to catch this filled up in time, unfortunately. Neither is Sully. Jake might just get onto the back of them, but it'll be close.
Yeah, if it does come in this lap, which I'm not so sure it will, because there's 4 cars out of sync, but I hope it does.
It should
because otherwise it's... yeah, Jake's in a good position there to catch back up, but unfortunately...
Now. There we go.
There you go. Okay, so you never really know with the safety car. Sometimes it goes 1 extra lap when you're not expecting it to, sometimes it goes in when you don't expect it to. So it's always it's never a finite art, is it, the safety car? But there you go. You have 5, 6 cars in this, and of course Jake has just caught up at the right time. His tyres will be warmer than everyone else's, and this could be an amazing restart for all of these drivers. So keep watching, and Quinn is now in. Has he got damage?
He might have damage, but here we are then, underway. I know, I think that's why Quinn, because he's not doing a thing, he's stopping to get out of the way of everyone. That's why Yuri, as Leroy's got a good start. Here's Kamababa looking for the inside every second. Can't quite do it now. Here it is. Yuri trying to go around the outside. Oh, there's contact on the outside. Wasn't getting there. He was not going to get any respect for Kamababu because that was audacious and he was not going to get any edge. Right there, as these two are all going to fight now for the last ounce of steam, and Yuri needs to get this car done on the end of this lap and have one lap to try to tackle his brother. Let's see what they can do. Further down, Bazza in 4th, Jess up now into 5th position. But are we going to see a dive then from Yuri? He's hit him! He's hit the side of him! That's not what. Oh, there's all sorts of carnage! Front wing damage! And this might be the opportunity that Jess is looking for a podium! She's on the podium!
Well, I called it a few laps ago. I said she wasn't out of it, and now it's all gone wrong for the Hasselagers. I don't know what happened there, but Camo doesn't care one jot at the moment. He's just going to do his thing. There's yellow flag in sector 1.
And look at this, Bazza going for the lead here. He's going for the lead on the outside of Kamababa. He's not going to fight it. Remember that with penalties, that is a 3-second time penalty right now for the man who is leading this race. And I tell you what, this could be a very emotional last lap for me of non-sub. So in a minute, but Bazza leads, Kamababu second, Jess is 3rd, and Jake's going to sit behind right now in 4th.
What a final lap we've got in store here. This is fantastic. Camo right now is going to win the race, but Bazza is pulling away like he's on softer tyres, which he is, of course. And Jacko's fastest man out there again. But yeah, that could be. Jess could win the race.
I don't think she will. No, I think Kamababa's going to hold. He is going to get past, and she's got to try and find a few tenths of a second to try and get it. She is in a potential. I don't think she will. She's gone wide. Keep it on the island. Kamababa says, thank you very much. I'm going to come straight back through and take it. But, Kamababa's defending to the inside line. Jess trying to go around the long way then. Let's see if she can do it. Kamababa giving her a good old squeeze then. That's any opportunity for winning this race is pretty much gone out the window unless a penalty happens. But Kamababa fighting this tooth and nail right now as we are entering the last couple of corners in this race. Bazza leads this afternoon. He's done everything he needs to do. He capitalised on a mistake. He took the lead. He stayed there. And through the last couple of corners, here comes Bazza to take the lead then. And he'll come to the line and will win here in Suzuka. Here on the last lap, but this is going to be a bit of an emotional rollercoaster for me. Kamababu second. Jess is going to finish on the podium.
That is an absolutely outstanding final couple of laps for her. She's managed this joker so well, and you can hear a lot of people will be very, very happy with that result for her. But Jacko is up to 6th there with Sully's penalties, and Quinn is going to finish in 8th. Yuri could have won this race, will finish 9th, and it all went wrong for him in the final stages. I think he got a little bit too close to Leroy, who managed to finish 4th in all that. So that's, and then Kaya and Kingan are lapped, and very much looking forward to going home.
Indeed, and I've got a lump in my throat right now. There's my person. 3rd position. Leroy in 4th, Jake in 5th, Jacko, Sully in 7th, Quinn in 8th, Yuri from Kaya, and we're just waiting for the last two to finish, who have both cut the corner, unfortunately, respectively, but what an afternoon of racing.
Yeah, and finally, Kingan crosses the line, and in about 3 seconds, he'll turn the PlayStation off and go and throw things or something. I don't know how he deals with bad races, but there we go. Bazza, of course, was very lucky that Jess got stuck behind. Would have been a very different race with her, but second place is nothing to complain about, especially on a Joker, and it's a fantastic result for Bazza as well. It's always good to see Bazza win a race too.
Yeah, indeed, and the livery, which I said was my favourite livery, is on the top step of the podium, which I will say, incredible there for your top three. I might have a few tears in my eyes right now, but it's fine. I'm not emotional. It's okay. Bazza wins this race then from Camo Babo. Jess in third. Leroy in fourth. Jake in fifth. Jacko from Sully. Quinn ahead of Yuri. Kaya. Kingan. Excited. Then Newgarden down in 13th position. Well, what an afternoon. I think I know who my... we've got to pick 4 driver of the day, so I'm going to go for Bazza and Jess.
Alright, that's pretty much 2 of the people that I was going to pick off the list, and yeah, I was struggling after that because I was going to pick Jacko, but he binned it at the worst possible time because of the first stint that he did on the softs. I thought I wrote that down very early on. Driver of the day question mark. Maybe it's my fault that I jinxed him, but I'm going to have to go. Oh dear me, Camo and I guess Kingan, because he stayed. He didn't give up. Bless him.
Indeed. Well, on that bombshell, that has been Kia Series. We've got next week as well, the final at Jeddah. Don't forget to join, of course, the Cup Series in a few days' time as well. But from me and my good friend Mr. Mackie, Mr. Matt, that has been Suzuka. I'm going to go and cry in the corner right now. But I shall see you next time. Until then, goodbye.